morning. Welcome to the Unity of Little Rock.
All right, we are here.
After our wonderful technical challenges this morning, we're ready to go. Good morning, Reverend Becky. Yay. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for being a part of Unity of Little Rock. Thank you for bringing your energy, your smiles, you into this community, because we're not the same when you're not here.
That's right.
So we're better when you are here. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for faces that we haven't seen in a day or two for being here. Yay. Thank y'all. So as we begin today, I want us to remember that this is a place for us, all of us. So it's a place for you to belong. You belong here because you showed up here. You volunteered and said, I won't go this morning. You showed up. So thank you. This is a place for you to belong. We're celebrating Black History Month this month. I want to remember and acknowledge those that in our communities of the world, and especially of the U.S., there are people that are marginalized, people that are treated as less than because of the color of their skin. And part of the awareness of Black History Month is to remember that there are those that we want to embrace and love more so because of how they're treated by others, but also to remember, you want to read something fascinating? Go on Google and Google Black accomplishments, okay? And just read about those in our history that have done so much that aren't the white male in our culture. That's fascinating read, so I invite you to do that. Also, what is today? It's Super Bowl Sunday. And I know some of you could care less, and some of us, you know, I have a team I'm rooting for, but I'm going to keep that under my hat. You don't know who that is, right? But there are millions that are just anxious about what's going to happen with that game today, as well as there might be a few of you in here wondering, I got to make sure I get out in time for the pregame to start. And I know that's not all of you. Some of you don't care, and that's perfectly fine. But just wanted to acknowledge that. As well as, this is the week of love. This is our Valentine's Day. My bride and I went out last night to make sure we celebrated some Valentine's, because with her work schedule, we're never quite sure when we're going to get together. So last night was our opportunity to share with that. So I hope that you remember that. And here's a great statement that comes from Thomas Merton. It says, love is our true identity. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone. We find it with one another. And that's most certainly true in community. We find, to me, the beauty and the magnificence of ourselves when we step into community. We get reminded of who we are, the truth of our being. So with that, let us light our Christ candle. Morning.
As we light the Christ candle, we acknowledge our inner wholeness, wisdom, and peace. This spark of divine consciousness represents the truth of our being.
Yeah. Oh, she. There you go.
It's coming. I promise it is. Okay.
There it is! Yay! The Christ is. That was her first time to light the Christ candle, and we didn't tell her about the secrets and the challenges that take place with that. But thank you for lighting that, and thank you for that remembering that light that shines over here is just a representation to remind us of our own light, our own divine, sacred light. Dave, come on up here. I'm going to volunteer you.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
On this beautiful, beautiful morning. I love it. I love the cold. Okay, opening statement is, there is only one presence
And
and one power active in my life
and
in the universe.
God, the good, the omnipotent. Yay. Thank you. Handled the pressure, Dave. You did great. Thank you. Thank you. This is our daily word, Jeanette. Jeanette's got the long read this morning.
That's okay, power is my superpower. The daily word is power. Our affirmation is, I have the power to choose my thoughts and direct my life. Feeling my power from within means I am grounded in spiritual truth and understanding. I speak my mind with calm certainty and change my mind whenever I choose. I live in a state of inner security and mastery. If I wish to make changes, I take dominion of myself and have faith in my innate power as a spiritual being. In the past, I may have looked outside myself to feel powerful, taking on another's beliefs or affiliating with something outside myself. Now, I understand true power comes from within. I take dominion over my thoughts and feelings. I live my truth. In confidence, knowing my thoughts derive from divine ideas. One with God, I have the power to create my life. The Bible verse is from 2 Timothy 1:7. For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power, of love, and of self-discipline. Join me in saying our affirmation together. I have the power to choose my thoughts and direct my life.
Yeah, thank you, Jeanette. So let's do our opening prayer this morning. And as Charles Fillmore reminds us, prayer is the most highly accelerated mind action known. Accelerated mind action known. So as we pray today, we're using our minds to step beyond our minds, to step into that awareness of the divine that dwells right here, that's in this breath, that's within this being, you, me, us. So if you're willing to close your eyes, at least soften your gaze, as we acknowledge there's one power and one presence in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent and omnipotence. And that power that infuses all, is all, that presence that cannot be separated out from everything that is, within it is the infinite. The hopes and dreams, the wisdom and knowledge, the love and compassion, all that we can think, dream, hope for is included in that power and presence. And where does that power and presence dwell? In all, as all. That means in us, as us. Thus that power, that presence, and all we hope and dream for is within us. So today, as we look out in our world and we see chaos and uncertainty, we see pain and suffering, we have the answer for that. And it's for us to allow our unique expression of that divine to move into the world, to solve those issues and challenges within us, but to be the hands and feet that move out into the world. That's what a spiritual community does. Loves one another, supports one another, but steps outside their walls and moves that love and compassion into this world. And if it only helps one, it's one more that was helped. And if it's 10 and 20 and 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000, so much better. We never know what our actions will act as a catalyst for others. So today, as we enjoy our time here with Reverend Becky and with each other, and we move forward in this day, we remember that that divine presence and power is us. And we are blessed because we come to a community that reminds us that we are far beyond what we imagine ourselves to be. And we are far beyond what we could hope and dream to be, because we have people that hold us and accelerate that action within us because they celebrate us. So today we give thanks and are grateful for this community, for our time together, for these awarenesses, and for the sheer joy of coming together in community. And so it is. Amen. Yay! Thank you. Today we've got Reverend Becky. Reverend Becky is our minister of record. So she's formally, I guess she's formally staff on this at Unity of Little Rock is the way we describe her. I just want to invite you to, as we spend our time with Becky, to remember that Becky will be here live basically a month from now, on that weekend of 7th, 8th, and 9th of March. She will be here doing a visioning and mission vision and where our future is taking us, who we are, and how we want to express that in the world. But also she'll be here Sunday morning live for us. But as much as we enjoy her in person, we don't get to enjoy her on Zoom. We don't get to enjoy her in person as well. So with that, I'm going to turn that over to Reverend Becky, and we're going to get you stopping our share and let you share you.
There we go. There she is.
There we go. Yay!
And she's
All right, so I'm happy to be here this morning and rocking and rolling and getting ready to celebrate. I can't see what's on your hat there, Russ.
I wasn't supposed to say it because I was keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Chiefs. I am a Chiefs fan.
Listen, you can't be a Unity minister or spend any time in Kansas City and not be a
Chiefs fan. That's right.
But you do it. And to all those Eagles fans, we send you love. So, all right. So I have a couple of songs. One we'll do now, and then one we'll do after the meditation. And these are not necessarily spiritual songs, but this month we're talking about moments of clarity with the affirmation of I see clarity in all I think, speak, and do. And so I thought, well, what kind of music could we do around clarity? Well, being a child of the 60s and 70s, and even the 80s, I have some music that means something to me. And so just enjoy for a second and go ahead and have a piece of music with us. So I see clearly. You know, I think that song is a great affirmation. That if that's what we choose to see, and if we can claim it, and claim it with clarity, then we have the ability to create it, to live in it, to be in that energy. So in a world filled with distractions and constant motion, you know, there are times when a deep sense of clarity emerges. Sometimes, you know, we've always taught about how chaos is something that it's actually the beginning of the birthing process. So when we're in the midst of that chaos, from that point is when many times clarity emerges and we get to know things that we would not have understood in other situations. And so when that moment of clarity emerges, you know, it's that moment where everything aligns and we gain insight into our true selves, maybe our purpose or our path forward. And these moments of clarity can feel like a sudden revelation, or a peaceful stillness, or even a quiet understanding. So in Unity, moments of clarity are not seen only as personal breakthroughs, but as spiritual awakenings that deepen our connection with the divine and the world around us. And you know, Russ talked about me being there next month, and that's true. I'm going to be there next month. And it's so important because the whole idea behind what we're going to be doing together is really digging deep into our heart space, trying to get out of our heads and moving into that heart space and having clarity around who is Unity of Little Rock. Who is Unity of Little Rock wanting to be? Who is it becoming? What is our desire? What do we aspire to be? And so that's why it's going to be so important that each and every one of you be present for the activities that we're going to be doing, because your voice, your heart, your consciousness, your imagination is being requested. And so I personally want to request your presence to be with us, because the more of us that are involved, the richer our experience will be, and the clearer our vision will be for who we are and who we are becoming. You know, and we all know that, you know, Unity is a spiritual movement grounded in teaching practical spirituality. We know that Unity emphasizes that transformative power of of prayer and positive thought and spiritual practice. And we know that it draws on metaphysical interpretations of Scripture and affirms that each individual is inherently divine and with the ability to connect to the presence of God within. And for me, that's really the point where true clarity comes. It's when I'm connected to that essence of the divine. That's not just within me, but it is me in expression. I am that. And so as I move into that point of divine connection with the truth of who my being is, that opens the gates for true clarity to come, not only for my spiritual journey, but for everything in my life. You know, our core teachings suggest that moments of clarity are not random occurrences, but they're instead a natural result of aligning oneself with the higher spiritual truths of existence. And that's what we talk about. We align, we get into that alignment with Source. We do that thing that we talk about, that 18-inch journey from our minds to our hearts, and connect those. And so that's the blessing of being able to move into that higher spiritual truth of existence. You know, these moments of clarity arise when we stop and we step out of the chaos of the material world and tune into our inner divine guidance. And boy, right now, is there ever a better time for us to be connected with our divine guidance and not getting bogged down in the chaos that is swirling around us? And I encourage us to step out of the chaos, because if we're in it, what we're doing is we're adding more fuel to it. And so I encourage us to step out of it, to center into the truth of who we are, and to be present to our feelings, but also know that our feelings are generated by the energy around us, and to take those into that place of that inner sanctum, of our abode of God, as Charles put it. And so in unity, more about the clarity piece, clarity is not simply about intellectual understanding, but a deeper spiritual knowing. And right now we're being called into a deeper spiritual connection and a deeper spiritual knowing. That's where the truth, where the answers are going to come from. You know, a moment of clarity is often experienced as a profound realization that transcends the mind's limitations and connects us with that greater sense of truth, with that greater sense of peace, and even that greater sense of purpose. It can be answered to a lifelong question or a sudden understanding of a life situation. These moments often arrive during times of prayer, meditation, or deep reflection. And when our minds are calm, our hearts are open. You know, personally, I tend to wake up in the mornings with answers or insights. And I trust this is because during the night, my conscious and subconscious minds are quieter. And they allow that superconscious, or what we refer to metaphysically in unity as divine mind or God mind. But when I can quiet my conscious mind and my subconscious, that opens the pathways for the divine mind to express itself. And that right there, that's the big thing. And many times I'll get ready for bed at night and I'll go, okay, something may be weighing on me during the day, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and plant this seed. Plant the seed that as I sleep and as I let go of all the busyness and the chaos of the world, and I get still and I get quiet, that during that the answers will come, and I'll wake up in the morning with a aha. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. It's, you know, and I used to keep a notebook beside the bed because 3:15 a.m. used to be my bewitching hour of waking up with the angels. But now it seems that I'm sleeping through that part, and I must be continuing to process, because many times I wake up in the morning and it's like, whew, I was busy all night. But that's the cool thing. I'm sure none of you go through that, right? No. You know, Charles Fillmore emphasized that clarity is the result of cultivating an awareness of God within and recognizing the inherent good in all situations. You know, this awareness allows us to see beyond the surface level in life circumstances, and it offers us a deeper insight into what's truly important. That's what I was talking about with the song. If I can see clearly now, and I see and I claim, If I claim the good, then that's what I'm welcoming into my life. If I see the good in something, then I get a chance to have a greater experience and put more energy and more focus on that good. You know, Unity teaches that every person has direct access to divine guidance. It's not an abstract or a distant concept. It's an immediate and personal experience of the presence of God within. And so as we become more in tune to this inner wisdom, moments of clarity are more frequent and more profound. You know, this guidance may come in the form of a thought or a feeling or even a dream. It may arrive in the midst of a busy day or a quiet moment alone or during a time of prayer and meditation. And the more we trust and listen to this guidance, the clearer our path becomes. And we're encouraged to trust that the answers we seek are already within. And as we align with the divine, clarity will unfold naturally. I don't know if any of you have ever been going through a situation and it just seems like everything is a mess. Everything is a mess. And when we could get still, or just say, you know, it seems like a mess, I'm going to walk away from it right now, and I'll come back to it shortly. Well, a lot of times when I go back to things like that, it's like, why did I waste so much time digging around in the muck when all I had to do was walk away, take a few deep breaths, center myself, and then it was like the universe goes, okay, now you're ready to listen. Here is the truth. Here is what's yours to know in this moment. And of course, whenever we look at times of prayer, you know, so we emphasize in prayer and in unity that this is an aligning with divine presence and affirming truth. When we pray with faith and conviction, we're opening ourselves up to the wisdom of our divine nature, often leading to more moments of clarity. Meditation, it also plays a significant role in gaining clarity. And through quiet contemplation, we make space for the still, small voice to speak. It may be not sitting on a chair with your fingers touched and the candle lit and the incense burning. It could be taking a walk in the woods. It could be taking a walk down your street or out working in your garden. Any time that you have an opportunity to just bring your focus to a pinpoint and shut out all the busyness, you're bringing yourself into that energy of meditation. And so, you know, as we sit in that silence, whether we're doing something or just being, and we allow ourselves to focus on the presence of God, we cultivate a receptive state of being, one that allows clarity to naturally emerge. And Unity teaches that when we still our minds and focus on our connection with the divine, we create an environment for wisdom, for guidance, and the understanding to flow freely. You know, these spiritual insights are not limited to grand revelations and moments of profound spiritual experiences. You know, I used to have people come into my office and say, well, you know, when this happened and I was totally awakened, thus and so. And I get tickled when I hear people say that, and if I step on somebody's toes there, I do apologize. But I always used to get a kick out of folks that would be new and they would come in and would talk about how, yeah, this has been great because it's created me to have a total awakening. And I'm thinking, honey, you're still sitting here. You know, if you were totally awakened, totally in that space, I don't know that you would even still be in a field of physical presence. I think we would probably have already done that ascension piece. But we always are opening the door, that crack a little wider, to gain more insights and more understanding. And it may be just the little things. You know, often clarity can come in the simplest moment, a decision about a relationship, a choice about our career, or a realization about our own well-being. It may be a realization that may go, oh, you know, if I did something this way rather than that way, amazingly, I might get a different result. We all know that definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing the same way we've all done and expecting different results. Well, sometimes clarity comes in and helps us clear out the cobwebs and know that, that moment of clarity, and it might be just a flash. I've had that happen many times where I would have something that I've been thinking about the day before, and then like that morning, I'd wake up and I'd go, oh dog, I wish I'd have thought about that when I was in the midst of all that yesterday. And it was simple. It was something just a little easy. It might have been just, and I even find that it happens when I'm working on projects in the home, or I do some graphic work and some different things like that, and it may be, you could do it this way, and it would change the whole thing. And all of a sudden, everything just falls into place. It's like click, 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 click. All of the pieces click together, and it's beautiful. And so, unity teachings emphasize that every moment of clarity, no matter how small, is an expression of God's presence in our lives. And so by cultivating an awareness of our spiritual connection throughout the day, we can notice more of the moments of clarity in our everyday lives, in everyday situations. So whether it's a shift in perspective, a renewed sense of peace, or a deeper understanding of a situation, these moments are reminders that we are always connected to divine wisdom. Moments of clarity are seen as a precious gift from the divine, a reminder that we are always guided by an inner knowing, and that clarity can be found by tuning into our spiritual truth. Tuning into our spiritual truth. That's an interesting phrase to use because I've talked many times in the past about how, divine mind or God consciousness or spirit, whatever name you want to call, the universal mind, it's always broadcasting. And we are the ones, and I'm always reminded of the old analog radios where you were sitting there turning that knob and you'd get, and then all of a sudden start a little bit of the music or the broadcast, and you really had to tune it in really fine, didn't you? And then you had that other knob for that fine to really narrow in to that like 0.7 whatever. And that's the way it is. That's why as we take time in focusing in meditation and prayer and just clearing out the minutia in our minds, that's why it's very much about tuning into our spiritual guidance system. And so we sometimes get frustrated. I remember, in my younger years, getting real frustrated as you're driving through the countryside and you're trying to find one station that might come in. But the gift is when we are aware and focused on doing this through Source, there's always a station that's broadcasting loud and clear. And that station is consciousness. And so, as we engage in practices like prayer, meditation, and affirmations, we invite more of these moments into our lives. Unity teaches us that through connecting with our inner divinity and trusting the divine guidance, we can live with greater awareness, greater purpose, and greater peace. So when the clouds of confusion part and a moment of clarity arrives, embrace it as a reminder of the divine wisdom that is always within you, ready to guide, ready to support, and ready to lead your journey. The broadcast is always going on. It is your receiver tuned in, listening, and downloading. And so I'd like for us to take a few moments and go into a time of meditation in order to practice some of this. And so if you will, go ahead and begin to get yourself comfortable. And I'm going to do a screen share to give us a little audio and something on the screen. If you're one that doesn't like to shut your eyes, this will give you something soft and gentle to listen to. . And so in unity, we know that meditation is that gateway. And so as we begin by finding a comfortable position in our chair, I invite you to close your eyes or gently soften your gaze. And take a deep breath in. And let it out with a soft sigh. Oh, yes. And allow your body to reflect on allow your body to reflect on relaxing. And feel the tension melting away. And with each exhale, we let more of that go. With each breath, you're more centered and grounded. Ready to receive the wisdom and clarity that is always present within you. And as you breathe in and out, become aware of that present moment. Notice any thoughts that arise and gently let them float like the clouds in the sky. Bring your awareness to your breath, the natural rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. Feel the life force moving through you, connecting to the present moment where all clarity exists. In this moment, know that you are exactly where you need to be. You are one with the divine, with that divine presence within you. Allow yourself to simply be. Know that peace and clarity are your birthright. And now, as you continue to breathe, affirm silently or aloud, I am one with the divine presence within me. I am open to the clarity and guidance that flow through me. I invite you to claim this truth for yourself. Feel these words resonate within you, grounding you in the truth that the clarity you seek is always within reach. Trust that as you open yourself to this movement, you are aligning. You are aligning with the wisdom that is your true nature. Let go of any doubts or distractions and just simply be present. And now I invite you to picture a light at the center of your being, right in the area of your heart. This light represents the divine presence within you, the source of all wisdom, understanding, and clarity. With each breath, this light grows brighter and more radiant, filling your whole being with a sense of calm and knowing, and a sense of peace. Allow this light to expand, reaching every cell of your body and feeling the warmth and clarity it brings to you. In this space of light, there is no confusion, no uncertainty, just pure divine guidance. Trust in this sacred space, and answers will come with ease in perfect timing. And as you rest in this light, you may have a question or area of your life where you're seeking clarity. It might be a decision you need to make, a relationship you need insight on, or an aspect of your life that just feels unclear. I invite you to hold this question in your heart and gently ask, what is the highest and clearest answer I can receive in this moment? Trust that the answer is already within you, ready to be revealed. And it may come as a thought, as a feeling, as a knowing, or even as a sense of peace. And so we're going to move into a few moments of silence, and as we do, be still and receptive. Allow that divine light within to illuminate the answer you seek. Please do not force anything. Just simply sit in the presence of this light, knowing that the clarity you need is being revealed to you in perfect harmony with your highest good. As we move into the silence, into the silence. And as we begin to come out of the silence, it is my prayer that you receive the answer, the clarity. But if not, don't be discouraged, because you've planted the seed and it will come. And I invite you to silently affirm to yourself, I trust the clarity I receive. I trust the divine wisdom that is always with me. And then let that clarity seep deeply within, allowing it to fill you with a sense of peace, knowing that you are divinely guided at all times. And now as we close this time of meditation, I invite you to take a moment to offer gratitude. Gratitude for the clarity that has arisen, for the clarity that is yet unfolding, knowing that it is always available to you. And express thanks for the divine wisdom within, for the guidance, and for the peace that flows from knowing that you are never alone in your journey. Thank you, Divine Presence, for the clarity and the guidance that are always with me. I trust in the wisdom that I walk forward with confidence and peace. Now take a deep breath in, feeling that presence of clarity filling your entire being. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room around you. Notice any sounds, the feeling of your body, and the gentle rhythm of your breath. And know that you carry this clarity with you as you move throughout your day. You are connected to the divine, and all the guidance you need is always available to you in every moment. And so it is. Amen. And so I thank you for this time that we've had together. I thank you for being present. And I trust that any clarity that did not show up in this moment will, over the course of the next period of time. It may be in the morning after you've gotten quiet overnight, but we'll see. So I have another song to play for you. It's a little, these are different than what I would typically play on a Sunday morning, but we don't have a lot of new thought songs around clarity. So we're just going to go from there. I had orange drinks at one point in my life. I look forward to being with you. So our next time that we're together, we'll be together face to face in person. I can't wait to be there, to hug those of you that are huggers, to shake hands with those of you that are handshakers, and to bow to those of you that prefer that. So have a blessed rest of your day. Go Chiefs. I don't care. I'm not proud. Fine. Namaste.
Thank you, Becky. All right, let's change our share screen here. Yay! All right, this is our opportunity to share and give of ourselves. And as I've done the last time that I offered this piece for y'all, is to remind that yes, we value and appreciate the monetary gifts that you give here, but what you bring, how you show up, how you're of service is your gift as well.